This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I couldn't not cover this, but not for the reasons that most people have covered it, where they're trying to justify the left-right paradigm, and they're trying to say, oh, isn't it hilarious that this CNN reporter's getting banned from the White House and this whole CNN fake news, all this stuff, when the left and right are working together to obviously take away our rights. This story is a perfect example of how even people who think that they're awake and claim to be on the right are delusional and are actually even helping by using their, being blinded by their zeal and not using common sense to see what's being done here. Because as rights continue to get stripped from, free speech turning into hate speech to gun control, this is 1984 is what's happening. And now you have this stuff with assault. Right? What is and what isn't assault? And anybody who thinks that this is assault is just completely delirious and is falling into this ridiculous paradigm. If this was somebody on the other side, on the left, who happened to do this, everybody on the right would say, that's not assault, this is absolutely absurd. But now they're playing it the opposite way, and because people on the right hate CNN so much and hate the fake news, which CNN is fake news, but all the mainstream media outlets, including Fox News, which claims to be right, is fake news as well. And all that they're doing here is continuing to strip rights, but everybody's blinded by this, right? If this is assault, what does the future hold? You can't even whistle at a girl or it's sexual harassment. Look what has happened in the last year, right? You go up to a woman and you go, or you go, hey, you look beautiful today. They can call sexual harassment on you, have you slandered. And soon enough, there'll be prison time and fines and all this stuff, outside of the workplace just for hitting on a woman, right? They're taking away all of these rights. And now this is assault? Is breathing on somebody assault? Are you even allowed to be able to have human contact with another human being, or is it assault? Because when I was growing up, even if you punch somebody in the face, it wasn't assault. Now, I'm not saying that punching someone in the face shouldn't be assault, but I'm saying look how much rights and the mindset of people has changed, right? People are so just afraid to even, say anything anymore because they're afraid that they're going to get hit with hate speech or sexual harassment or hate crime, for questioning somebody who might be gay and questioning their mental stability, any of this stuff, right? And this is what people should be talking about when they see this story. They shouldn't be going, oh, my goodness, isn't it hilarious that he got thrown out of the White House? The bigger story behind this is the censorship and the stripping of all rights, because that's what all of these stories end up leading to. Censorship, 1984, where you can't even hit on somebody anymore. You can't even kiss somebody anymore. You can't even talk to somebody anymore. You can't even breathe next to somebody anymore, okay? This is just, you might as well have a zipper on your mouth, like from Beetlejuice. You might as well have the zipper across your mouth, because that's what it's turning into. And I saw, a bunch of people. And you guys who listen to my channel know I don't get into any of the political stuff really, because none of it's real. Because, when I see these stories, I see the agenda behind the stories. And sure, that's my opinion. If other people out there don't want to agree with it, that's fine. But this is my channel, and that's my opinion. And I'm allowed to say it as long as it's on this channel. But I also have to be very careful of what I say because, all of this stuff that's going on is leading to all of the censorship of all of us and our opinions. But when you see stuff like this, you got to go, okay, flip the switch if it's the other side. What do the people on the right say? They say, oh, they're overreacting. So this way they're saying that, people on the left are saying the people on the right are overreacting. It's not assault, excuse me. InfoWars coming out and calling it assault. It's a joke. It really is a joke, because the bigger agenda is what are we going to be allowed to do and what aren't we going to be allowed to do? You get celebrities like James Woods, who plays the role, that he's a Republican and he's with the right and all this stuff. And it's pretty funny. You have all these people who cover, Pizzagate and cover Trump and all this, and they think Trump's real and they support James Woods because he's a Hollywood actor who's courageous enough to support Trump. Meanwhile, James Woods was one of the people who portrayed the lawyer in the McMartin preschool movie that HBO made, and somebody who was vocally claiming that entire thing was a psyop and not a psyop. The entire thing was the story that they gave, that all the children that came forward made it up. The parents told them to. So, let's stand back and take a chill pill here for people who, talk about all this stuff with the right and the left and the Pizzagate stuff and the support of Trump and the support of guys like James Woods, where you actually had an event that happened in the McMartin preschool trial where you actually had hundreds of victims who came forward and claimed abuse, whereas these other stories, there's no victims anywhere to be found. Not saying that they're true or they're not, but James Woods was somebody who went out of his way to push the propaganda at the time before, we had the internet and all this stuff where people were getting their propaganda from movies and how they were saying, well, this is based on a true story. Then they went out and they make the whole movie sympathetic towards the actual predators. And that's how a lot of people who found out about McMartin ended up saying, oh, that wasn't real, that was made up, because of the film that James Woods played the lead character in and then was doing interviews, saying, oh, yeah, these kids made it up and the story wasn't real and the real victims were the McMartins. Okay? So you have somebody like James Woods, you don't think he's playing the role here too? Saying activists masquerading as journalists assaults an intern. And then you click on the video and you're just like, this is assault? She's grabbing a microphone and he's pushing her away with his arm. The bigger picture here literally is going to be like, if you see somebody you might know and you try to hug, you say hi and give them a hug, somebody's going to yell assault or rape and you're going to get handcuffed and thrown into jail. That's how they're doing this. They're doing this just, everybody's sucked into this paradigm. And inside of this paradigm is where all of our rights are being stripped because of this left-right paradigm. Because everybody's getting caught up in this, taking their anger out on the right, taking their anger out on the left, instead of taking their anger out on the people we should be taking it out on. The elitists, the globalists, the ones who are doing all of this, right? Who are creating these illusions of, friction and civil unrest between people when it doesn't really exist. They're doing it through the media and manipulation. And through that, people are getting so caught up in these stories that they're actually okay with them taking away our rights. You have people who are on the left who, are so caught up in this stuff that they're okay with us, taking away free speech from people such as myself. And they don't realize it's going to happen to them too sooner or later, right? That they're just getting sucked into this thing because once the laws get passed and all this stuff gets passed to, you can't talk about certain races, you can't talk about certain, people who or gender this and gender that. Well, sooner or later, it's going to catch up to everyone. So people need to get sucked, stop getting sucked into this nonsense because this is exactly what they want. Is this assault? Is it not assault? Clearly it's not assault. Assault is, you'll know assault when assault hits you. Okay. How's that? When people ask what assault is, you'll know what assault is. You probably won't be able to get up if you get assaulted. But like I said earlier, you'll be breathing somewhere, in a street corner, and somebody will walk by. Maybe somebody be smoking a cigarette, and they'll exhale the smoke outside of a restaurant, and somebody will walk by, and the smoke will go in their face, and they'll say it's assault. And everybody's so not sentimental, so sensitive to everything that the globalists love this. Because little by little they know, okay, we can keep taking away these rights because we're playing on people and we're weakening people and we're making them so soft that they're actually going to ask us to take away rights because they can't defend themselves. They can't handle themselves. That's why they have the anti-bullying movement and all this stuff to soften people up, right? They want you to turn to the government for help. They want you to rely on the government and Big Brother to protect you. So if somebody makes fun of you, instead of learning we've all been made fun of. We've all been picked on. We've all been in fights and stuff before. You learn from it. You grow from it. It's part of life, right? The stuff you learn, and then, they want you to, cry to the teacher and cry to so-and-so. That way, when you have a job in the workplace and you get, you don't get a raise and you get treated like crap and your boss asks you to work 60 hours when you're only required to work 40 hours. And everyone just goes, okay. And then they go and they complain to their friend about it because they never stick up for themselves and stand up for themselves. Because the bullying movement and all of these things continue to happen because they continue to soften the mindset of our society. Okay, so when I see stuff like this, it drives me absolutely nuts because I know what they're really thinking. I know what this is really about. This isn't really about saying that this guy assaulted a woman and he should go to, you know what I mean? This is about little by little saying things like this are assault, and then saying, oh yeah, he shouldn't have put his hands on her. He should, and he doesn't even literally, you're going to go up to somebody and play tag and they're going to call it assault. You could poke someone with a finger and they're going to call it assault and you're going to go to jail. 1984, folks, you're living in it. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.